Hello and welcome to Eyes Insight. Eyes is Exa Innovation Studio, a global consulting firm with offices in Tokyo, Paris, and Los Angeles. Today's Eyes Insight is around the e-mobility industry, and it's the second of a four-part series. And I'm happy to be here to host today's Eyes Insight. My name is Zach Lee, and I'm the innovation lead at the Los Angeles office. And our e-mobility expert is with us today from Paris, France. He's Mr. Thibault Mallet-Descheny. Thibault, welcome.
Thanks, Zach. Thibault Mallet-Descheny. I'm an MD in our Paris office and the head of research innovation. So thanks.
So Thibault, in our first part of this four-part series, we explored the public charging industry. And today we want to take a deep dive into the private charging segment. So could you tell us a little bit about what the industry looks like?
Yes, so private charging, again, we're talking about charging at home, charging at work, and charging for fleets, logistics, transports, etc. Today, 80% of all charging sessions are private. And this will continue to be the main source of charging in the future. Investment in charging infrastructure in this space will grow dramatically. And this is a very attractive market.
What kind of players is it attracting?
Many players are entering. First is OEMs. Tesla is providing Tesla charging at home, but Volkswagen is also providing this service. Then electricity retailers. This example is Octopus in the UK, one of the advanced players. Oil majors, for instance, Shell is also very active in this space. Home solar systems, for instance, Zonen in Europe or Solar Edge in the US. GAFAs, Amazon just started a service to install chargers at home. And finally, charge point manufacturers. For instance, Wallbox is one of the prominent players in this space.
Wow, it looks like a very crowded space.
Yeah, it is. And this is especially true in the home charging space. As you can see in the UK, there's a price war going on. Tariffs are going down, and to be able to compete in this market, you need to come up with new ways, new tariffs. And OVO, one of the electricity retailers in the UK, started 6p all the time tariff. On the right side of the screen, you can see that tariffs are quite different depending on the peak time and off-peak time. For instance, EDF Energy is providing a 4.5p per kilowatt hour price if you charge between midnight and 5 a.m. However, the rest of the time, it's proposing a 21p kilowatt hour. OVO is betting that it can provide a 6p tariff throughout the day, throughout the night, by optimizing and by balancing between people charging during the day and people charging at night. Optimization will be a key advantage to compete in this market. The other segment of this market is residence and multi-family buildings. These require very different services. For instance, one of the players, Zplug, they will support you to get a specific electric meter for chargers in your building. And then they create services to promote and to individually meter how much is used by each owner in the building. And these are specific services which are very similar to what CPO are doing. And they are very active in this space.
Okay, so that's a great overview, I think, of the residential, the home market. But another big market is expected to be fleets. Am I right?
That is correct. Fleets are especially attractive. Why? Because you can really predict when the vehicles are being used and when they can be charged. So this is a great area to balance demand and supply and to optimize and learn before transitioning that to the public charging space. The promising areas are buses, trucks, corporate fleets, and many players are also entering this space. Startups like the Mobility House, this is one of their presentation, but also Nuve. Nuve is a V2G player invested by EDF, one of the electricity retailers, but also by Toyota Tsusho, now a public company. They started from V2G vehicle agnostic play, but now they're focusing on school buses. And school buses are great application. They are used in the morning and at night, and idling throughout the day and throughout the night. So they are essentially batteries on wheels. Nuve is making a great business out of that, being able to use these batteries to pull back energy during the peak times and to charge these vehicles during the off-peak times. And we'll see also other players coming into this space. Of course, the CPOs, the MSPs. OEMs are also very interested by this fleet management and the opportunity it provides to develop energy management businesses like V2G or smart charging.
So you mentioned a lot of different players there in your explanation, but earlier you mentioned the GAFAs, right? Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple. What's their play in this industry?
As you understood, energy management is the key. In the future, being able to optimize demand, supply, and stabilize the grid. The problem for the grid is not only the EVs being placed on the road, but also the renewable energy development, solar, wind, which are very unstable sources of power. So you can really use the vehicles to stabilize this grid and this power demand and supply. And Amazon, they understand that very well. They started this home charger installation service in collaboration with Audi and Hyundai in California. More importantly, they are connecting this charger with Alexa. You'll be able to tell Alexa, oh, stop and start your charger. But Alexa will also be able to control when you charge your vehicle. But not only your vehicle, your washing machines, your AC system, and all the appliances in your home. And through this aggregation of devices, they'll be able to develop services to support demand response, but also in the future to pull back energy to the grid and become, like Tesla in the UK, electricity supplier and retailer. That's also true for fleets. It's already happening today because of the predictability I mentioned before. Nuve is already making a business for V2G in a very specific niche, the school buses. But this is the first entry. If you understand and if you are able to develop these services for these fleets, then slowly you'll be able to apply it to the market overall. And one of the players in this field is Next Kraftwerke. It's a German company, also acquired by Shell. This is one of their pilots in Holland. The gray parts are time zones when they are able to stop the charging of the vehicles and reduce the strain on the grid. This is the first step. In the future, as V2G chargers, bidirectional chargers become more affordable, this will be applicable to the market overall.
Thank you, Thibaut, for the very interesting and in-depth analysis about private charging and also talking about balancing the grid and the importance and the role that will play in energy management moving forward for everyone around the world. So, Thibaut, we really appreciate your time and your insight today, and we're looking forward to the final 2 installments of this series around e-mobility.
Thank you, Zach.